lassies, welcome back to the YouTube, and today we're going to take a look at some of the common mistakes people do when they're trying tantrums. Now ordinarily I go out and film myself trying these tricks and trying to make the mistakes that I often see, but today instead we're going to use videos submitted by you guys to my Instagram account, and we're going to analyze them, give some tips, and then hopefully help these people learn it, but also hopefully you'll recognize some of the problems they're making and you can also learn from it too. We recently did this with the back row. You can hit the link up there. The feedback was brilliant, so I decided we'll do it for the tantrum and maybe for a few other tricks. So let me know in the comments what tricks you'd like to learn next, or what tricks you'd like me to do this type of video with, and of course the email address to send them to is right here. Right, let's get into it. Okay, so first up we have a video sent in by Jack Farrer, and he says, "Hey Dave, I'm Jack. I'm a big fan of YouTube videos. They've helped me a ton. I saw your story on Instagram and I thought I'd send a video. I've been trying to land a tantrum, but I keep falling short of the rotation." So here is Jack's attempt. Now Jack, on a personal note, I just want to say hats off to you. I can see you've got a low point where your rope's tied onto. Your wake's not massive, and actually you're doing a very, very good attempt. I actually think probably about 90% of the hard work is done, and it's just those finishing touches. So the first thing I'm going to say is I'm going to advise you to go a little bit wider from the wake. That's not crucial, but just it will help, just an extra foot or two. Then as you're coming in, I find that you're quite back foot heavy, so I'm going to say add a little bit more weight to your front foot. This is probably one of the most common mistakes when it comes to tantrums, so bit more weight on the front foot. Then as you come to take off, you'll see that you're standing tall, but just as you could go that last little bit, you tend to scrunch up, and that's to try and help you rotate. I know it's a natural reaction, but I'm going to say try and really just push those hips forward and lock that head back just a little bit more. So at the moment you're kind of going to here and then flipping it, just really get tall on it. That's going to accelerate your flip massively, and then you should come around out of it very, very well. So the two biggest things are really more weight in your front foot and just stand a little bit taller at the wake, and hopefully it will all be money. But that is insane, so massive respect to you, Jack. Okay, next up is Dylan Bars. "Hi David, saw your Instagram post. Any tips greatly appreciated. Video coming from Lake Arapuni in New Zealand." I love New Zealand. Okay, so Dylan, solid attempt, and what I actually love, by the way, is the quality of your video. If you are sending videos, the better quality, the better it is for me and also for you guys. So Dylan, your attempt is again fantastic. So my biggest tips for you are, if you look when you get to the wake, you're actually pulling in on your arms a little bit. If you can avoid doing that, it's going to help because it is messing with the line tension. My second biggest tip is when you're taking off, you've kind of got this position with your arms. If you can, you want to ideally have a straight line running across from here to here. So that's going to be one thing, is to really extend out into that squaring up motion. And my last tip is, as you're going throughout the flip, you're staying a little bit scrunched up, but more importantly, when you're coming out, you're still looking down to the water. Try and really look back to where you came from. So if we're to really go through the motions, we're going to come in nice and hard like you do. Instead of pulling in on the handle, you're actually going to let it out the whole way wide. Stand really tall. I really want you to exaggerate the standing tall. And then as you come around, try and look back to where you came from. It'll help get your head back up and then actually help you get over your heels a bit more. But Dylan, solid attempt, and I do suspect as we enter into the New Zealand summer soon, which is sad because we lose our summer here, I think you could land that really, really easily. So good luck and keep me updated on how you get on. Side note for any of the OGs, do you recognise the bush? This is where all the old tutorials used to be filmed. Anyway, next up we have a gentleman called James. He says, "Hi David, love all your videos. I've been trying to land a tantrum for the last 4 months or so. I've managed to land one, but it was really sketchy. Here's a video of that." That actually, I know it's sketchy, but we'll take it, James. Any land is a win. Anyway, here's another attempt, blah, blah, blah. I also just got a Centurion, so surely that'll help. I am so jealous. Let me know what Centurion you got, but that's so sick, and it really actually will help. But anyway, here is James's attempt. That's a little bit of a better attempt, but he doesn't ride away. So James, really good, and you're going to notice a theme here because it's a very similar mistake to what Dylan did. So your edge in, really strong, really respect that, it's really good. Then as you get into the takeoff, watch how you just stay tucked up. You're really not standing tall and getting the most out of the wake. And then again, as you're coming out, you're really just focusing in on the water. And I know we say spot the landing, but that's why we say spot. So you're kind of just spotting it, seeing it's there, and then you want to actually look to the shore. So basically, the biggest tips I have is keep that strong edge in, but as you take off, really stand tall, push up, hips forward, head back, and then as you come out, look at the landing, yeah, it's there, boom, head back up, and you should ride away. But definitely the new boat will probably help you quite a lot. Good luck, and keep me in the loop. Okay, next up we have a man called Akam. I'm gonna say Akam? Gherkin. You have a hard name to pronounce. Anyway, Akam says, my tantrum landings are very rough. Don't know if it's the edge or the direction of the kicker or something else. Thanks for your help. Right, so I'm gonna go ahead and call you Akam. Sorry if I'm wrong. Anyway, Akam, right? Really good attempt. Sorry, a noise behind me has just started, but I'm gonna crack on anyway. So Akam, really good approach. There's one thing I've noticed is as you're getting to the kicker, you're breaking at the hips a little bit. Now, that is okay, but ideally you want to bend at your knees and keep your hips strong, and that's for all wakeboarding. Then the next thing that I'm noticing is as you're taking off, you're probably turning, if we're going this way, into the kicker a little bit too much. You actually want to maybe try and keep your shoulders parallel with the kicker. That's going to help a lot. But the biggest issue you have is as you're coming out, you're putting your backhand on the handle. Now that's going to throw off the whole rotation and everything. So my tips to you going forward are continue coming into the kicker the same. Maybe add a tad more weight to your front foot, it's going to help. Then as you take off, really try and stay parallel to the kicker, parallel to the cable. Then as you take off, really throw your head back. Then as you come out of landing, I know it feels weird because you've got less strength, but just leave that backhand behind and just keep the front hand on the handle, and you should ride away nice and clean. Now another one I want to touch on is a lot of people tend to do a 180. In fact, I was expecting someone to send me in one like this, and I probably got 15 attempts, but no one actually was making this mistake. But if you're doing a tantrum and then you're coming out and you're doing a 180 on it, it's probably wrecking your head and you can't figure out what's going on. So my number one tip when this is happening is to actually start trying toe side back rolls. It can help break the cycle. But aside from that, what's actually happening is you're taking off, you're doing your flip, and then our natural reaction is to go, oh, and when you go, oh, you tense up, and what that motion does is it pulls like that, and it pulls you 180 in the twist, in the flip. So to break the cycle, number one tip is try toe side back rolls, give it a go, but the other tip is really focus on locking that front arm completely straight, and when you do that, it should help. Another tip is really when you take off, to look at a tree or something on a landmark over there, and then do the trick, and as you come out of it, look for that landmark again. That could help quite a lot, but it's a bit of a tricky cycle to break, and it's a natural reaction. We've all done it, and you will overcome it just with time. Anyway, that is a video on some tips. Like the back roll, I actually don't think I had any attempts in from any females, but ladies, if you're watching, send some in, because I'll more than likely pick yours, because I want to include some ladies as well. But loads of really close attempts. There's a lot of progress to be made there, and I think a lot of people are going to be landing tantrums in the near future. So let me know what tricks you'd like to see next. Of course, send your attempts to this email here, and the better the video quality, the more likely I am to use it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic, that's September now, nearly, in tomorrow. I'll see you in the next one.